Separated by 8 miles of pine and shades of blue, the greatest rivalry in the game is renewed tonight in Chapel Hill in front of 22,000 fans. Welcome to Wednesday Night Hoops, presented by Staples as part of Rivalry Week, presented by Cisco. Number 2 Duke against number 3 North Carolina. The 6th time they have played each other ranked in the top 3. He's back after being on the injured list for the first half of the season. Dick Vitale returns to ESPN, back where he belongs on college basketball. Good evening, everybody. Mike Patrick along with Dick Vitale. It's great to have you with us, my friend. We've been doing this for an awful long time. You sure picked a great game to come back for.
I'll tell you one thing, Mike. Back on December 5th, when Dr. Zeitels told me I needed surgery, I never dreamt that I'd be back here again behind a microphone. And what a game. When he told me in mid-January, he said, you could start working again the first week of February. I looked at the schedule, and I said, are you serious? Duke and North Carolina. What a terrific matchup we have tonight, number 2 and number 3.
This is the kind of rivalry that turns teammates into rivals, and it's done that in this game.
Well, high school teammates playing against each other, you're talking about. Certainly, we look at Gerald Henderson, who's having a super year his sophomore season, very effective against North Carolina. Wayne Ellington, they need that jump shot out of the Super South. He better be on fire, especially playing without his buddy, Ty Lawson.
Take a look at the Yellow Book starting lineups. First, for the Blue Devils of Duke, who come in 19-1, the strength is the backcourt. 3 guards with that outside firepower and 5 players who can spread the floor and score. Let's take a look at North Carolina. Roy Williams has them at 21-1. Quentin Thomas will start for the injured Ty Lawson. Hansbrough up front. Duke has no answer for the guy they call Psycho T. The unavailability of Ty Lawson is a huge factor tonight. Stacey Dales has more on that. Stacey?
Well, you're absolutely right, Mike. He's still suffering from that left ankle injury from Sunday's game against Florida State. He didn't practice on Monday. He did not practice on Tuesday. He tried to go through shoot-arounds today, but he struggled moving laterally side to side from a defensive standpoint. So Roy Williams told us, if you're not 90%, you're not playing. Obviously, guys, he's not 90% and thus won't play. So big shoes to fill if you're Quentin Thomas. He's a senior, guys, but he's only played 33 minutes combined in his career, 5-game career against UNC, against Duke, I'm sorry. So see how they're impacted offensively and defensively, guys.
All right, Stacey, and the question will be, can he face up to the pressure that Duke provides on defense?
I'll tell you one thing, we saw a little dancing on the sideline. The question is, will they be dancing at the end of the game as well as they danced early in the game?
Paulus, who is really on a streak with 3-point shooting, and buries the first.
Well, you know, Mike, you talked about how they spread the court and utilized the 3 so well.
Ellington with that sweet jump shot. Paulus out on him.
Half-court execution, a must for North Carolina. Without Lawson, who gets them a lot of easy layups in transition.
Singler starts off man-to-man against Hansbrough.
They'll give a lot of help, though, on him. They're going to give a lot of help.
Thompson gets the roll and a nice soft cut.
He's starting to score for them on the interior.
Yes, he is.
A big plus. Remember losing Wright to the NBA draft.
Henderson, Duke loves to penetrate. Henderson misses the shot. Hansbrough at 21 rebounds against Florida State the other night has his first one. Hansbrough from 17 feet.
My friends, if he can make that shot on a consistent basis, he elevates his game. He's one of the top 3 in my mind right now for National Player of the Year, along with Michael Beasley and Kevin Love at UCLA.
Tell you what, Dick, they'll let him have that shot all night long. Exactly. They don't want him down low.
Well, they don't want him to go to the foul line.
Singler, offensive rebound, block. Duke has it. Thompson with another block. Here comes Ginyard. Paulus waiting on it. There's a block. North Carolina wanted goaltending. They won't get it.
I'll tell you one thing. When you look at North Carolina, Roy Williams' club, they get 45% of their offense from offensive rebounds. They average 18 a game in conference play and 20 free throws made a game. So 45% of their offense comes from free throws and from offensive rebounds.
Quentin Thomas, all the pressure on him as a point guard. Ginyard goes to the left hand, missed it. But there is Psycho T.
He's a tough, tenacious guy. I got a big kiss from his mom here tonight.
He leads the ACC in scoring. He leads the ACC in rebounding. Nice reverse by DeMarcus Nelson to quiet the crowd.
In the last 6 games, he's been over 20 in 5 of them.
Nelson went after Thomas trying to get the steal. Hansbrough bricked that one. That's why they'll give him that shot.
Exactly. You call the shot. They'll allow him to shoot that. Now watch this block shot from the offside. Terrific play by Henderson, showing his great athletic ability. Now look at Hansbrough working on the offensive boards. They get 18 offensive rebounds a game. Key reason? Tyler Hansbrough.
And in total, they get almost 45 a game, which is #1 in the country. And Mike Krzyzewski really upset about that call. He thought it was Duke basketball.
I thought he was just inviting Les Jones for dinner.
Thomas to inbound. Remember, this is a guy who started 2 games in his life. Nice running jump shot, Ellington. Smooth as silk. His first 2.
Yeah, he's been in a little bit of a streaky situation. He's a very good shooter. He had that clutch shot against Clemson. Scored 37 in that game and a big win at the end.
Singler, nice pass. That is just beautiful ball movement. Lance Thomas cut to the bucket, and Singler fed it.
Well, just a terrific 2-man game. Singler has great basketball savvy for a big player.
Interesting that Hansbrough is spending a lot of time outside, Dick. Ellington. Here comes DeMarcus Nelson. Almost had it taken away by Thomas.
See, that was a challenge shot for Ellington. The key for good shooters are to try to get open shots. You don't want to shoot challenge shots. Rick Pitino talks about that often.
Singler. Our Sonic rivalry recap. It's been going on a long, long time, and Carolina leads the all-time series 127-96, but Duke has won 16 of the last 22. The 38th time these schools have met when they are both in the top 10. That's how brilliant these programs have been. Shire is into the ballgame, and he's on Ellington. Here's the double team.
Shire, one of the premier 6 men in the game.
Hansbrough gets penetration, and Duke is trying very carefully not to foul him early.
Can't allow him to get that baseline. You got to give help. He's too strong of a baseline driver.
Singler goes down. That's a travel.
Hansbrough all fired up. Oh, is he fired up?
The point I'm trying to make, Dick, is Duke doesn't have the bodies to challenge him all the time and make it real physical.
Well, that's the great advantage that they have with Hansbrough. Look at the emotion. Look at the intensity. That's why he's a winner. This kid just loves college basketball.
Thomas so far has done a pretty good job at the point. He has not been turning it over. Hansbrough on a double team, threw it away, and that's exactly what Duke wants.
Shire's been so big off the bench, as is Danny Green for North Carolina.
DeMarcus Nelson too strong on the 3. Hansbrough with a loose ball rebound.
Duke's not going to get many offensive rebounds.
No. Great hustle by Singler, and gets it out to Nelson. Blocked from behind. Danny Green hustling.
What a terrific play by Green defensively.
Hansbrough, pull-up jump shot.
It looks like he's going to have a big-time night. Tyler Hansbrough makes the perimeter shot. I told you earlier, that game goes way up, baby.
He already has 8 points. Didn't have a field goal against Florida State till after 30 minutes were gone in the game. And Singler, the very talented freshman, drills a 3.
I tell you, he came out of Oregon just as Kevin Love, 2 Scholastic superstars in the state. He got away. from the state of Oregon.
Quentin Thomas gets a little fancy, and Nolan Smith nearly took it away from him. It's been all Tyler Hansbrough early, and Carolina has the lead. Presented by Olivia. John Edwards, the presidential candidate for the Democratic Party until very recently, along with his wife Elizabeth.
Julius Peppers, one of the great defensive players in the NFL.
Pretty good basketball player when he was here, too. Sean May is here.
Sean May, Daddy was a great player for Robert Montgomery Knight.
Tell you what, there's no shortage of former players you can bring back between these two schools, is there?
Mr. Lynch, so underrated as a player, and he's right there as well.
And we've got Hubert Davis with us.
He can shoot it.
Quentin Thomas with the jumper, no. Offensive rebound, Green. Oh, Duke just has no chance on the boards. Deion Thompson in there fighting. That was Stevenson getting that rebound.
That's the great strength North Carolina has. Really outstanding rebounding club. Now, the way Duke can neutralize that is make some threes. And they're a very effective three-point shooting team, spreading the court. Hey, you mentioned Hubert Davis in the house. Can shoot the jumper work with us?
Yes, sure.
What a combination. Stacey Dales and Hubert Davis, pretty tough to beat.
You coach, and I'll talk about it.
Wow.
Hansbrough getting a little bit of a breather.
You know, Mike, I mentioned National Player of the Year earlier. Kevin Durant ran away with it last year, won every award. I think right now you look at Beasley having a great year for Kansas State. Hansbrough, Kevin Love's been coming on like crazy for UCLA.
Stevenson, who is not a good free throw shooter, under 50%, missed a pair. The lead is 2.
Duke likes to spread the court. They like to drive, dish, and kick.
Nelson comes in, and he has it swatted away by Stevenson. Duke takes it back. Smith open for 3. The three-pointer is the great equalizer.
I just talked about it a moment ago. They make those threes, makes up for lack of rebounding. Hey, the Duke 3 freshmen, Singler, Smith, and King, average 28 points a game and 10 rebounds a game. That's contributing as diaper dandies.
Now, Roy Williams has got to go to Ginyard as a backup point guard tonight. Thompson with a runner. Boy, he's been scoring well lately. What an added bonus.
Yeah, it really is. He's got great scoring ability. Showed that last year in a couple flashes.
Smith stopped on a dime but missed the shot, and Stevenson cleared.
Not a good shot right there. That was what you call a forced shot.
Be a foul on McClure, his first. Tomorrow night on ESPN, the Thursday night showcase starts at 7 Eastern. West Virginia against number 25 Pitt, speaking of bitter rivalries. Then at 9, number 13 Indiana against Illinois, part of Rivalry Week, presented by Cisco on ESPN.
Well, Reese Davis doing that game with Jay Billis, who did a great job stepping in for me. And I'll tell you this, they're doing that game with Eric Gordon.
Tell you what else Jay did, a terrific interview with Bob Knight.
I talked to Bob today. I will tell you this right now, Mr. Patrick. He will be back coaching again in the right situation. That is my gut feeling talking to him. The right team, the right place. Robert Montgomery Knight will not end at 9:02. And if I was from school, I would call him up. He's got 10 more great years in him.
Well, these 2 spots are taken. Roy Williams and Mike Krzyzewski.
Oh, really? You don't think they might get fired?
I don't think so. Smith threw it away.
Look at
of course,
right
John
here.
Wooden leads the all-time list. Adolph Rupp with 4. Bob Knight and Mike Krzyzewski right behind Rupp with 3 apiece.
Well, what about Mike Krzyzewski? 794s. We always get a strip. They knock our Cameron illustrator down. Hey, 794, 902. Mike Krzyzewski in 5 years puts up 25 a year.
About 4.
He can get that number, maybe
Absolutely.
in 4 years. That's right, 4 years.
That is if Bob doesn't come back.
Exactly.
Now, Ginyard really being pressured by Smith.
And if Mike were to break his record, Bob would be the first to be ecstatic that one of his guys
Sure would.
did it.
Green penetrates on Henderson, dumps it off inside. This is too easy right now for North Carolina. Deion Thompson already has 8 points, and he's hit all 4 of his shots.
Well, you know, Green did a great job penetrating to create that opportunity.
Shire gets a screen, and will draw a foul.
You know, Mike, you lose a star player like a Lawson, who's a superstar point guard. You can make up for it with emotion, the crowd, a player rising to the challenge for 1 or 2 games. But in the long term, you are not going to be effective without Ty Lawson.
No, absolutely not. Not with his skills. And not only is he a tremendous point guard, but he's become more and more of a scorer. And now Thomas is back in there. And Thomas is a guy who came out of Oakland, California. Here's Paulus. He's going to be fouled. Crowd didn't like it, but that was a good call as Thompson came out on the double team. That'll be 1 on him.
Take a look at the recap right here. Look at the record right there, 21-1. Lost that one tough game. North Carolina.
Gary Williams had them playing great that night.
Oh, Gary's club has improved immensely from the beginning of the year when they lost to American and Ohio U. Thomas doing a great job with a little screen, going to the basket, picking up some points, good rebound.
Quentin Thomas back the other way, and that's what they're afraid of. The big mistake, the bad mistake. Shire for 3. Can't convert on it. And Duke is out of bounds. Well, if Quentin Thomas throws it away in the open court, that's really trouble.
I'll tell you, Mike, the one thing, though, if you're going to turn it over, see, he gets caught up in the air. That's a no-no. But if you're going to turn it over, you better make certain you don't turn it over for a layup, because Duke really generates offense off the turnover.
And Thomas goes to one knee, had to pick up his dribble. Hansbrough thought about passing it, then takes the shot.
Should have passed it, Mike. Yep. Had a wide open teammate. All he had to do is drop it on a dime. As Clark Kellogg would say, drop it on a dime.
Shire trying to get untracked and drills a 3, and just like that, Duke's right back in it, tied at 18.
That all because of the 3-point shot. Shire had 16 of his 21 in the first half against Florida State when the starters were struggling.
Number 2 against number 3, an early season showdown.
Well, this guy right here is Gerald Henderson, and as you can see, based on these Carolina fans, he is a wanted man. Why? Well, remember back to March 4th of last year when these two teams met in the regular season finale, and, well, Henderson cracked Hansbrough at the end of the game and left him bloodied and battered and in a mask for 5 games. Well, everybody has been talking about how would these two teams, these two players fare on their return game this year. Well, I have a little secret for everybody out there. This isn't the first time they've seen each other. In fact, believe it or not, these guys played pickup together in the summertime in June, and they actually, not only did they play pickup together and play against each other, but they played on the same team. Now, I talked to Gerald Henderson last night. They're not best of friends, I'll tell you that right now. Gerald Henderson did apologize after the hit initially last year, but they have a fond respect for one another on the court, you could say, Mike.
That's good to know, Stacy.
I'll tell you, Stacy, it was all really started by Ellington getting the phone number for Mr. Henderson to call Mr. Hansbrough because they played high school together when you're talking about Ellington and Henderson.
Ellington back in the game. Here's Hansbrough. Ginyard with a foul. Hansbrough gets it back, leans in, and there's going to be a foul on Paulus before the shot.
They got a hole on the inside before he released that shot. North Carolina averages better than 12 rebounds a game against the opposition. Look at him working on the inside. I mean, just so physical. Only guy that can probably neutralize him right now is sitting in our truck, Kim Bellin, when Kim played for the Stanford Cardinal. He told me to say that, by the way.
Well, speaking of big guys, Duke does not have Zubek available. He has been working out. He has gotten in a little practice time. He is in uniform, but they do not expect him to play with that broken bone in his foot. Right now, North Carolina out-rebounding Duke 15-5.
We're not shocked by that. I was told that Zubek would only play basically if there was no one available because of foul situation.
Duke has done a good job not letting the fouls mount up so far. They've been called for 5 team personals. If Hansbrough gets 30, he gets 30, I think is their attitude. Paulus down the lane. 3 on the shot clock. Shire got it. What a huge shot.
Again, that's their offense. Spread the court, drive, kick it out to the open three-point shooter. They've made 5 threes today, and also North Carolina hasn't made 1. So there is right there the reason that Duke is up 3.
6 points for Shire, and Ellington commits the foul.
There's the penetration, Mike. You split the gap, you kick it out, spread the court, find the wing shooter, and Shire can shoot it. He's averaging 11 points a game, 27 minutes a game he's playing, and he's probably going to be a leading candidate to be a roll-aid specialist as one of the premier 6 men in the game, along with Danny Green.
The 6 men in this conference, you can make an all-star team out of. Paulus with a runner. Really didn't have his balance, and he made it anyway.
Keep that stat, baby. That's 6 threes for Duke.
That is huge. Thomas back the other way, and Thomas with a rare basket.
You know, Thomas had 2 good games against Duke as a sophomore. Came off the bench and really played well for North Carolina.
Singler, it's raining
7.
threes in Chapel Hill.
Nothing like making the 3. North Carolina's got to do a better job of guarding the perimeter 3. They got to get on people and make them beat them off the drive. Lack
of defense is something that has bothered Roy Williams all year long. Sometimes they play very well, sometimes they don't. That is not Thomas's shot. Duke is at 7 out of 10 from long range.
That's 70%. A dummy like me can figure that out.
You worked on your math while you were out.
I was laying in the hospital 6-7 days. I was bored. I had to.
They've hit only 2 out of 9 from 2-point range, and that's on DeMarcus Nelson. That's his 2nd. This Saturday on ESPN, Big East action at noon Eastern. Number 16 Marquette, number 21 Notre Dame. Then at 9, number 6 Georgetown will battle Louisville. All part of Rivalry Week, presented by Cisco on ESPN. What a ball game so far. DeMarcus Nelson picks up his 2nd. Bad pass by Thomas. He turned it over again. That's 6 for Carolina. Singler for 3.
They get wide open threes. They're running in a transition game, getting open threes. Make no mistake about it, North Carolina is totally a different team, a different personality without Ty Lawson. You cannot take the engine. You can have a beautiful, beautiful car. If you don't have the engine, my friend, you're going nowhere.
It is 27-22. Duke with the lead. Thompson goes to the free throw line and clanks the first one off of there. He's a 51% shooter. As good as North Carolina has been at the line as a team, they do have some liabilities.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. If you're not making threes, you better make your free throws and make them count. Because Duke right now has a 7+ lead in terms of threes. They've made 7 threes to 0 for North Carolina.
The Heels 3 out of 6 from the free throw line. Duke has yet to shoot a free throw.
Well, going to a little run and jump, try to go to a little trap. I think it's very difficult to trap the way they spread the court and the way they handle the basketball. Shire and Paulus and company.
Paulus trying to drive. He's fouled by Quentin Thomas.
His brother, by the way, goes to North Carolina, plays football.
That's right. He's a freshman quarterback, Mike, from a very, very athletic family.
Well, and 4 other brothers played football at Georgetown.
Yep.
We're going to see the Hoyas Saturday night. Dan Schumann and yours truly will be down there. It should be really special. Louisville's playing exceptional basketball now.
Paulus. Hansbrough hasn't had a field goal in 8 minutes. Started 4 of 5. He's missed his last 3.
See, I would slide him inside. I don't think they can match up with his physical strength on the interior.
Ellington struggling a little bit from the outside.
I don't think Duke has anyone. I don't think many teams have anyone that can really challenge him one-on-one on the interior.
No. Shire with a runner. And the rebound goes to Lance Thomas, and he's fouled.
You know, we talk about Lawson being out. How big is the loss of Bobby Fraser? Take a look at this guy. I mean, he really was such an outstanding guy coming off the bench. He was a stabilizer, understood how to play, a coach's son. So they lose him, so now they go to the 3rd unit when you're looking at the point guard slot.
Not only could he score a little bit,
play defense, too.
He could play defense. And he was a very good assist man. He did not make mistakes. Duke by 4, 6:50 to go first half. Henderson. Down the lane and got it. Gerald Henderson, averaging 13.5 points a game, knocks that one down. His first bucket.
He's probably the best all-around athlete Duke has.
Thomas threw it away again. Shire. Danny Green getting back, and Shire protected the ball with his body. That time, Thomas turned it over in the open court.
Shire did a great job anticipating Mr. Basketball in Illinois.
Offensive foul. Ellington goes baseline.
See Thomas really being challenged. We take a look at him right here. He's up in the air. That's a bad play. You don't want to be up there. Now, here's a good play. Takes it in the lane, spins, gets the deuce. Bad, good, another bad. A little deflection. You know what? He's probably trying so hard. He's on the sideline. Roy Williams talking to him. Ginyard's going to play the point.
Ginyard will play the point now.
He's not really truly a point. They're going to pressure him big time.
Shire, nice kick out. Singler with a miss. Singler gets the offensive rebound and feeds it in well. There's a foul on Thompson. That'll be 2 on the sophomore from Torrance, California.
Mike, no one's really talked about, but you know, this game becomes big in a way. It sets the tone for the opportunities. You watch them battling on the inside. There's the pass across the lane, the body. But this game, when you think about it, somebody gets a big edge, obviously winning this game. Edge to be the best in the ACC.
Sure.
Well, what do you get as a reward? The best of the ACC is going to go to Raleigh, North Carolina for 2 games.
Yeah.
Then from there, if they win those 2, they go to Charlotte. So in essence, that means you play 4 games without getting on a plane to go to the Final Four. That's a big, big plus.
Yes, sir. Huge advantage. Duke shooting free throws for the first time tonight at the 6:02 mark. Missed them both.
Lance Thomas played for Danny Hurley down at St. Benedict's, where they got a great program.
Smith went for the steal, instead picks up the foul. That's 1 on Smith. Tomorrow night on ESPN, this is the Thursday night showcase. Coverage starts 7 Eastern with West Virginia against Pitt. Then at 9, number 13, Indiana against Illinois, part of Rivalry Week, presented by Cisco on ESPN. I tell you what, if I say rivalry 10 times tonight, I'll get it right. What, 7?
Tough.
Is that the over-under?
It's unbelievable. Rivalry. They got me saying with a speech guy working with John Ferreira about rural. Say rural. R-U-R-A-L. It's tough.
I can't get past rivalry. Wow. I'm not going to attack rural. Graves into the ball game. He hasn't played very many minutes this year. Misses 1 out of 2. Graves, a freshman out of Greensboro, averaging less than 2.5 points a game. Duke penetrating one time after the other. And even though they are so much smaller, because they spread the floor so beautifully and because everybody can handle a ball, they get those shots.
They do a great job beating you off the dribble. They get good angles. Good play on the inside, strong move.
Ginyard got that to Hansbrough, and Hansbrough, who had been in the scoring drought, now has 10. 33-26, Singler for 3, short. Got his own rebound.
Hansbrough's got to get some touches on the offensive end on the inside.
Singler is trying to take him. They want Hansbrough to work defensively. That's 8 for Singler.
He went into a triple threat position, took him off the bounce, spun to the lane. The bench erupts. They're jubilant about it. Here he says, okay, player of the year, I'm going to take you one-on-one. Look at a little spin move. Takes it up, lays it on the glass.
Now a 5-second call, and Duke gets the ball back.
Singler is going to be a special player at Duke.
It's an offensive foul. It's going to be called on Lance Thomas, getting rid of Hansbrough and picking up his second personal.
Look at that intensity. I'm going to watch right here. Oh, there's a little bump. No question.
Good shoulder.
Mike Krzyzewski going to coach our Olympic team. I'll tell you one thing, speak to the players, and they're so excited about playing when you talk to Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, and company for the USA team.
Duke has 7 steals in this game in the first half. 7. They force almost 20 turnovers a game and get a ton of points off.
Yeah, they generate lots of offense. They finally get a 3.
He's only made 4 threes all year, Dick. That's 5.
Yeah, he's not a kind of guy you think would make the 3. So that's a big momentum. That gives him a little Uncle Mo.
35-29. Smith forced the shot, made it anyhow over Ginyard, who is a sensational defender.
I'll tell you what a player that kid is going to be. His daddy played at Louisville, was a terrific player. He passed away when Nolan was 7. Nolan became great friends with Johnny Dawkins, who played with his dad with the Sixers.
Ginyard lost the ball up in the air, and here comes Duke.
Nice pass.
2-on-1, Nelson, and he's fouled.
Great little look, very unselfish.
That'll be 3 on Graves. Let's check in with Stacy.
Well, Mike, you talk about rivalry. I'm going to say it one more time, and I'm going to put on my chef's hat and give you guys the recipe for a rivalry that we have here. You got tradition, of course, the first meeting back in 1920 between these two teams. You have competition. UNC leads 127-96, and what a national impact, guys. We've got 2 against 3, and geographically, 9 miles apart. This place is rocking, Mike.
Hey, Stacy, I thought you were going to give me a recipe for some nice lasagna or something. Come on, a recipe for a tradition, a rivalry.
14, McCool, referee, Paulus, and Nolan Smith,
Kids wearing different colors. It separates families. Not only kids, but husbands and wives, brothers and sisters, everybody.
Got a great private school, a great state university. Both schools academically really outstanding, very tough to get in. And I'll tell you one thing, I couldn't believe I didn't get in. I mean, I applied.
I can't believe it either.
They said 1,400 was the average SATs. I had 1,500, Mike. I took them 3 times. 500, 500, 500.
Duke with its biggest lead. It's 39-29. Hansbrough.
That's where they got to go. Inside. Score the basket.
That'll be goaltending.
Score the basket.
I think one of the keys to this so far, Dick, is that Duke is not fouling Hansbrough. They refuse to send him to the line. He's got to earn what he's going to.
Duke will take on North Carolina as 3 Carolina seniors close out their regular season home career. And we're going to go to double overtime. It is all over. North Carolina has gone.
Carl, it has been exactly the kind of game we expected here at North Carolina. The heels are dominating the backboards, but Duke has a huge edge in turnovers and three-point shooting. Paulus, 3 more.
Well, they went to the zone. Very difficult to zone a team that can shoot the 3 the way they can. I'll tell you a big stat right here is they've been averaging 20 points a game from the free throw line, as you talked about earlier. They only have 4 points on the free throw line, North Carolina.
Duke is doing a very good job not fouling, particularly Hansbrough. If he's open and wants to have his shot, they're going to let him have it without committing the fouls. If they don't, they'll run out of bodies.
Well, there's a turnover right there. They really can't seem to find a rhythm playing without Lawson or Frazier. They really are so lost. You can't win big in college basketball without a true point guard. North Carolina State's won their last 2 games, but the reason the Lowe's club struggle is they lost their point guard. Sydney should dress up and play.
Paulus backs it out. We have 3:03 to go first half in what has been an intense basketball game, as you might imagine.
It's always a lot of emotion, a lot of passion. You study the facial expressions.
Shot clock down to 5. Paulus had to pick up his dribble. This is Shire. He's got a launch. Thomas.
Good defense by North Carolina. They can take that shot.
Pull-up jumper. Singler blocks it from behind. Kicked out of bounds to Duke.
Last 3 possessions, no shots for North Carolina.
Duke has hit 8 out of 15 3-point shots in the first half. That's 24 points out of 42 off of threes.
And that's what they've been living off that 3. They got such excellent penetrators, guys that kick it out. They'll either beat you one-on-one off the dribble. If you give help, the ball's going out to the wing.
Henderson, the call is going to be on Hansbrough for blocking. He wanted a charge, but I don't know if he got there. What do you think? The official didn't think so.
Hey, well, Raymond Felton's in the crowd. Why don't they get Raymond? Hey, Raymond, dress up. Take a look right here.
That's the pretty good.
Tell you, Raymond was special. Everybody loves Raymond. Now he's getting a big paycheck playing down there in Charlotte. Mr. Jordan and company. I'll tell you, the facial expressions, these kids, they live for this moment. When they decide to go to North Carolina and Duke, they really, really talk about the fact of what this rivalry is all about.
Well, you come here to play in these games and play for an ACC title and for a national championship. That's why you come to Carolina. That's why you come to Duke.
That's what their goals. Their goals are not to get to the Final Four. It's to cut the nets down. You know, Henderson misses that free throw to wanted sign. Both clubs really got hurt by that situation. Henderson was suspended for one game, and he should have been. It was an overly aggressive foul, but it hurt Duke. They got beat the first round of the ACC. You got Hansbrough, how to play with a mask. He averaged 10 points a game in the ACC tournament.
Hansbrough wheels into the lane and puts it down. Tyler Hansbrough with 14 first-half points.
I don't believe he's gotten enough touches inside. I don't think that Duke has anybody can handle him one-on-one on the interior. As Mr. Hansbrough, he loves it.
We're lucky enough to have Hubert Davis with us tonight. Hubert, you've been through a few of these. This is pretty good stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, I have. I tell you, when you look at Brian Davis and I from Duke, we were here at North Carolina and Duke from 1989 to 1992, and we had some rivalry there. We were high school friends, and I tell you, we didn't even talk to each other when we played against each other for 4 years. We waited till after we finished. I don't know how Wayne Ellington and Gerald Henderson do it. The rivalry really is tough, especially when you're playing against each other on the floor.
I just want to know who he's cheering for tonight. Is he objective tonight, or do you think possibly the Tar Heels are on his mind?
Ask him.
Hey, Hubert, who you cheering for?
We turned the microphone on.
Non-committal. Like, we know the answer to that, baby. We know the answer to that.
Hansbrough has hit 7 out of 11 from the floor, by the way. The rest of the Tar Heels, 7 of 19.
See the way they spread the court, drive.
Nice fake by Singler. Follow won't go. And here comes Thomas on the run for the Heels.
Slide him inside. Get Hansbrough inside. They can't play him in a post.
Thompson penetrating.
Not a good shot.
Hansbrough there for a rebound. Fight for it. Jump ball. Possession arrow gives it back to the Heels.
I'll tell you one thing I love about this kid. He's a superstar. He's an All-American. Yet he dives on the floor. He sets the tempo. It becomes contagious with all his other teammates. Has a bad shot.
Never seen him loaf. Ever.
Plays hard all the time.
I mean, he's a first-team All-American as a freshman and a sophomore. He obviously will be again. Thomas, tough pass. Ginyard stepped on the baseline. Another turnover for Thomas, and that's a kind of turnover that's just unforgivable.
Well, in fairness to the kid, you're not playing a lot of minutes. You're in a situation, you're on the third unit behind Fraser and behind Lawson, and all of a sudden you're in the biggest game, and you are handling the controls really tough.
I didn't say I don't feel for him.
No, I know you feel for him, Mike. I know you got a heart of gold. I can tell by how many times you called me up while I was in the hospital.
Shire. McClure.
Too wide open.
Very rarely shoots the ball. Ginyard.
That's North Carolina with Lawson. Run, baby, run. We're not seeing the transition game here. Roy Williams wants the deuce. A Hall of Fame coach. I tell you, it was really nice today. Roy came up to me and he said, May 16th, you're honoring Bob Knight, Pat Summitt. He said, Dick, put me down, I'm coming. I mean, how nice is that? We're going to sell that out. By the way, anybody wants to join us, it's to raise money for pediatric cancer for the V Foundation. Honoring the general and Pat Summitt under one roof, Sarasota.
Couldn't you get anybody bigger in coaching than Bob Knight and Pat Summitt?
Wow. And I'll tell you,
I mean, with all your connections.
John Gruden called, and he's coming. It's going to be a bunch of celebrities, 1,000 a person. We will sell it out and raise over $1 million for research. Coach K, we honored last year. We did $1.3 million. Anybody wants to come? Call 1-800-4-JIMMY-V. 42-35, Smith. That's going to be a foul on McClure, setting a screen. McClure certainly got the worst of that exchange. He got doubled over. But he was moving. You cannot move laying that screen.
Mike Krzyzewski questioning the call. Here's the backcourt comparison. Duke with only 2 turnovers. The Heels have 8. That's out of the backcourt.
See, that's where you got to go. They're doubling them up inside. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. They rotate over. He protects the ball in the post as well as any big player I've seen. He really does a great job.
16 first half points for Hansbrough. Still, Duke leads by 5. What a half of basketball.
They're going to stop here. They're going to get one opportunity to put another score on the board, North Carolina, but they've got to get a stop to have that momentum going into halftime.
McClure gives it to Shire. Fadeaway 3, nothing. Here comes Ginyard, 1-on-3.
Got to back it out and get a good shot. And a good shot is Hansbrough. Hansbrough's got to touch it. That's where you got to go, my friends. You got to bring it to the All-American. You got to bring it to the Superstar. You got to bring it to the PTPR. Mr. Hansbrough, look at his hustle. Are you kidding me? This is the greatest rivalry in all of college sports.
Almost banked it in. Are you kidding?
Talk Michigan, Ohio State football, and I respect it. But there's no greater rivalry in college sports than Duke and North Carolina.
We're at the half at Chapel Hill, 42-39 Duke. Let's join Carl Ravitch for the UPS halftime. Welcome to Wednesday Night Hoops, presented by Staples, part of Rivalry Week, presented by Cisco. Good evening, everybody. Mike Patrick, Dick Vitale. It's great to have you with us. We're at Chapel Hill, North Carolina, the home of the Heels, and they trail 42-39 here at the end of the first half. Dick, it was exactly the kind of game we expected.
Well, yeah, it really was. You know, Duke's going to excel shooting the 3. North Carolina's going to rebound. Tyler Hansbrough's going to score when they get him the rock. They get him the rock, and he made it close. They're down 3. If I was Duke, I'd be a little afraid. I have a 21-point edge in shooting 3s, and yet I'm only up 3.
The difference is Lawson has been unable to play for North Carolina. This is tonight's Cisco game track. You see that Paulus and Singler are close to double figures. Hansbrough, Duke has done, I think, a brilliant job defensively. If he gets 35, 40 points, he gets 35 or 40 points. They're not going to let the other guys beat him, because they have no answer for Hansbrough inside.
No, they really don't. He's a total M&M or a mismatch on the interior for the Duke players. I think they'd love seeing him on that perimeter. They don't like him when he slides inside. Slide him inside.
He'll take a 16-footer, and it's short, and he did Duke a favor.
I'd let him shoot that all day. Even if he makes it, I'd let him shoot that. When he gets the ball inside, he's also a threat for a three-point play because of his ability to get fouled going to the basket.
The other thing, if he takes a 17-foot jump shot, he's not in position to rebound it if he misses.
You're going to be a coach.
Nelson with a miss. Singler tries to follow and can't, and Deion Thompson just rips it off the glass.
North Carolina needs some big plays to get this crowd really into it.
Thomas, nice play.
Terrific move. Excellent one-on-one move by Thomas. Comes out of California.
Quentin Thomas has 4 points, 5 assists, 4 turnovers so far in this game.
Remember we saw him as a freshman. He's struggling.
Yeah.
Oh.
If he can just stay even assists and turnovers, he will have a great performance. And Paulus knocks down another 3. You know, Greg Paulus at one point in the year was the best free throw or the best three-point shooter in the ACC. He slumped, but has come back, and tonight he's made all 4. Thompson, try again. He got the bucket and draws the foul.
Well, he's going to get the 3 the old-fashioned way. You look at the intense Coach K with 794 wins. Now watch this little change of direction. A little change, freezes the defense, goes up with the left hand, makes the layup. A little shake and bake. Oh, baby. Little shake and bake, lay it on the glass. I tell you, Paulus is healthy. Last year, the kid had a foot problem. Got a lot of criticism. He's a tough competitor.
Thompson at the line. That's a 3-point play.
Tell you what, if I coach on a collegiate level, I want Greg Paulus playing for me. Plays hard every game.
And he's played exceptionally well in the last couple of weeks. Duke living by the threes. DeMarcus Nelson, the team captain, knocks down another one. He has 9.
They got 10 threes.
Thomas against Paulus.
They're going to trade 3 for 2. Who gets the edge? You don't have to go to Harvard to figure that out. North Carolina's going to do a better job on the perimeter 3. They got to guard the three-point line.
Singler goes by. Hansborough will draw a foul at the baseline. Thompson was there trying to create the charge. Instead, he picks up his 3rd personal.
Nothing like these matchups. How many times you and I have seen such great, intense matchups? No difference here. This Singler defense rotates over. I think a little bit slow. He was moving.
You can move, but you have to be in defensive position when you're moving. Let's go to Stacy.
Well, Mike, I talked to Roy Williams at the half. I asked him how he addressed the Duke 8 3-pointers from Duke, and he said we're not defending ball screens. You guys just saw it with the 3 by DeMarcus Nelson in the corner. The 2 guys defending the screen have to communicate. If they don't, guys, there's a breakdown in penetration.
Paulus, he's perfect.
Are you serious? Are you serious the way they're shooting the trifecta?
5 for 5 for Paulus. He has 15 points on threes. Hand throw back the other way. Blocked from behind and a foul. That looked like a clean block. Let's see if the foul was against on the body. Singler picks up his 2nd.
There it is right now. Watch him get the ball out to the wing to help. Just what Stacy talked about. Excellent job, Stacy. She knows her hoops. They're going to kick. That's 11 threes, Mike. It's unbelievable that you're only up 5 and you're 11-1 in shooting threes against North Carolina.
Hansborough with his first free throw, and he missed. Tyler Hansborough goes to the free throw line more than anyone in the ACC. He has had 91 more free throw attempts than anyone else in the conference. And he is a terrific free throw shooter. It's a huge advantage for him, especially in the second half.
He's coming off a 22-21 game. In the overtime, he was dominant against Florida State. In fact, you said it earlier, 30 minutes, he didn't score a field goal in that game.
He is just exceptional, and that's 4 on Deion Thompson, and not a smart foul. Didn't have to make that much contact that far away from the bucket.
There's Paulus's father, and there's his brother. His brother's a quarterback, a red shirt. I wonder who he's cheering for. Cheering for his brother, but cheering for the Heels to win.
Henderson, tough pass. Nelson way short on the 3. Hansborough with another board.
He's got a shot to play for Butch Davis at the quarterback slot for the Tar Heels.
9 rebounds, by the way, for Tyler Hansborough.
They're trying to get a lot of help inside on Tyler. Singler's got him one-on-one. Can't play him in here one-on-one.
Thomas trying to penetrate, goes with the left hand. And a foul against Duke.
I'll tell you, Thomas doing a good job creating some offense for himself off the bounce, off the dribble.
He really has. He's been moving very, very well in the second half. Tomorrow night on ESPN, our Thursday night showcase starts at 7 Eastern, West Virginia against Pitt. Then at 9, number 13, Indiana against Illinois, part of Rivalry Week, presented by Cisco on ESPN.
I know Bruce Weber was hoping that Mr. Gordon was wearing an Illinois uniform, but unfortunately he'll be in Indiana. And I'll tell you one thing, he's one of the real impact diaper dandies, in which I think is the deepest diaper dandy class I have seen in all the years I've been on television. That's 29 years. This class is so deep and talented.
Try saying that 3 times, the deepest diaper dandy class. 51-49. Thomas, nice head fake, and got the roll.
He's done a nice job today. He's one of those real warriors. He comes just physically, plays, gives him some positive minutes.
Hansborough, good pull-up, got the rebound. Follow won't go, the tip is good.
He's gonna wave it off.
No basket.
He's gonna wave it off.
Our game is available on ESPN, an amazing ESPN HD presented by Olivia. Duke turns it over up by 4, 55-51. And just moments ago, before we took our commercial break, Roy Williams, who is subject to occasional vertigo, may have been struck by it there, actually went down to one knee.
I tell you, the heat here as well, Mike, it's unbelievable.
Oh, it is. It's like an oven.
But he's had some problems with vertigo.
It's easy to lose your balance with that. Henderson with a little floater from the baseline.
He's really become such an improved player this year. Good one-on-one move. People out there can remember his dad played 13 years in the NBA.
In and out, Thomas with a rebound as Ellington has had a cold night.
To me, Lance Thomas is like an unsung hero here. Playing a solid game.
Henderson travels on a poor pass by Paulus. By the way, Tyler Hansbrough needs 4 points to tie one Michael Jordan on the all-time scoring list for North Carolina. That would be number 11.
Wow, did he
turned out all right.
Michael Jordan, he wasn't bad. Michael, I tell you, I'll never forget, I got a kiss when he was a diaper dad. He missed the Jordan from his mom. And tonight I got a kiss from Tyler's mom.
They're about out of room in the rafters for jerseys, aren't they? Ellington has hit 2 out of 6. Henderson is only 2 out of 5. Ellington baseline out to Green. Too strong.
North Carolina needs some scoring out of Ellington if they're going to win this game. He's got to give him some point production.
Shire all the way underneath, tries a reverse layup and draws a foul, much to the distress of the North Carolina crowd.
Ellington's too good a player. He's got to get free to make some shots for him. Take a look at the two stars. I mean, Henderson and Ellington almost identical. Both guys played in high school against each other, neutralizing themselves.
Shire from the free throw line misses that one.
That's
He's an 85% free throw shooter.
Total shock.
Ginyard will come back in. Thomas will get a breather. He has acquitted himself quite well, particularly in the second half.
He really has.
Thomas.
Well, what he's done, he's really done a good job scoring. Taking the ball, scoring the ball, going to the basket.
And he's not making the silly turnovers. He's not getting caught up in the air, which is what happened to him in the first half. Here comes Ginyard across the timeline. He's trying to penetrate.
They only want him to get the ball up the court, get him into their half-court game. Little screen and roll. Hansbrough slides out.
Green baseline. Pulled up so he wouldn't get the charge. Shire on the break. Duke has numbers, but they wait. King off the bench with a missed shot. Henderson offensive rebound. That's a rarity.
That's a big-time rebound.
King again. This kid's a shooter. I don't know if that ball was touched or not, but it's out of bounds.
He shot that from Durham. He shot that from Durham, Stacy.
Yes, he did, guys. And I just got a quick update on Roy Williams. I talked to some of the staff members behind the bench. He's fine. The vertigo, guys, happens all the time, and he essentially just needed a cold glass of water, guys.
So do we, Stacy. Thank you.
He needs a couple of threes, too. That'll help him.
Green, nice head fake. Wheels into the lane. A little runner. Offensive rebound and a travel.
I'll tell you, Danny Green has been sensational all year for them. He's really been quiet as well. North Carolina's got to get some point production out of Green and out of Ellington.
15 turnovers called against North Carolina tonight. Duke forces almost 20 turnovers a game, and they're on pace to go over that tonight.
Yeah, not shocked, especially playing without Lawson or Fraser. Not really shocked at all. As you said, Duke does that on a regular basis.
Shire. Hansbrough clears again. Here comes Ginyard. Green has missed all 5 of his shots in this game.
They need that shot. Ellington's got to make that shot. He's too good a shooter.
He has struggled tonight. Here comes Shire. Paulus, he's made everything tonight. Finally missed a shot.
He couldn't make that, Mike. That was a 30-footer. That was a 30-footer.
Well, he's starting to believe the way he shot the ball tonight. Ellington again. Shooters just keep shooting. Smith almost had the steal. Carolina not protecting the ball very well. Ginyard. offensive foul.
Well, he left his feet. That's a no-no. You're in the 3-second area. You're up in the air. You're susceptible to the charge.
And they had been doing so well the last 6 or 7 possessions. They have been pulling up and not getting in that deep.
Take a look right here. As soon as his feet is up, I mean, the defense is right there.
Yep.
You got no shot.
And he was waiting for him forever.
I could make that call with one eye. I could see that, baby.
Yes, you could. Lawson, unavailable because of the sprained ankle, was hurt early in the Florida State game. Now Quentin Thomas will come back into the ball game. Had a pretty good second half. Graves is out. And Duke continues to lead by 7 as we approach 12.5 minutes.
Coach K told me today it's one of his favorite teams. I love the way these kids play. They play so hard. They come to practice every day.
Smith down the lane, and it looked like the officials were going to call it differently. One overruled the other one, and that's why Krzyzewski is upset.
Well, I don't blame him being upset on that call. I don't blame him at all. That was absolutely, there was no way that was a charge.
Carolina has missed its last 6 shots from the floor. Hansbrough trying to reverse that, and he traveled.
Did a great job getting a double up on him. They got to start getting him some looks, but he'll even get better looks if Ellington can make some of those perimeter shots.
17 turnovers for the Heels. Thomas is back in with those 4 fouls, or excuse me, Nelson is the one with 4. Duke hasn't had a field goal in 3 minutes.
It's amazing when you look at Duke playing. They play without a true post presence. They spread the court. Like to get about 15 to 17 feet apart. Good spacing so the defense can out-rotate and give help.
A great hustle by Thomas to prevent a turnover. Hansbrough with another rebound.
He's having a field day. He's going to have great numbers. The number he wants, though, is the W.
Loose ball. That's going to be a foul on Carolina. Quentin Thomas on the floor reached out and grabbed a jersey. Coming up, Coach K to the Hill. We'll talk about it when we come back. For the year, Mike Krzyzewski makes to Chapel Hill.
Never been on Franklin Street in my whole life and have no really desire to do it. I'm sure the people on Franklin Street have no desire for me to be there. So that's cool. But I go there once a year. That's plenty. I love Durham, and I love Duke, so might as well stay at the places where you love.
It's very smart, Dick. If he goes to get a cheeseburger at a restaurant on Franklin Street, he's going to have somebody taste it for him.
No, I think they'll treat him with royalty. I think he should go down there. Franklin Street's beautiful. I love Franklin Street. I think he's missing a whole lot by not going down there.
He'd have to wear a Dick Vitale mask.
No, he don't want to look that ugly.
Paulus. Cut off at the baseline. Good pass. And here come the Heels. Ginyard.
Nice open court transition play. Ginyard takes it to the goal. The G&G guys. G squared, Green and Ginyard.
9 for Ginyard. The lead is cut to 5.
They're not going away, man. North Carolina's not going away.
Thomas, they want to make Hansbrough play defense when they can. Thomas has 10. What a ball game. Thomas into the lane, kicks it outside to Ellington. Just can't buy one.
He's thinking too much, Mike. You watch him shoot the basketball. He is thinking on every shot rather than catch and shoot. Catch and shoot.
Ellington only 2 for 9 from the floor, and he's missed all of his three-point attempts.
And that's one of the key reasons why they're -7.
Yep.
He's too good a shooter. Plus, his shooting ability helps the availability and space.
Singler, tough shot over Green.
Big time. The Cameron Crazies are going to love this kid. And I got to believe he's staying in school. He's going nowhere.
He now has 10, and the lead has grown to 9.
He's got to get stronger physically.
Hansbrough foul in the basket.
How he gets that off, I'll tell you, those reminiscent. This was years and years ago. A lot of people aren't going to remember this name. Played at Seton Hall, and he led the nation in scoring. Nick Workman. Nick Workman used to score like this years ago for the Seton Hall Pirates. Look at the double team, rotation over, protects the basketball. Terrific collegiate. He's just a great college player.
Yes, he is. 1 out of 2 from the line. Now 1 out of 3. Tipped out, but it goes right to Paulus. Paulus has had a terrific ball game.
Well, he's had a terrific year. He really has played exceptionally well. He, Nelson, Shire, kids off the bench.
Mike Krzyzewski and his coaching staff directing traffic right now. Nelson loves to drive, kicks it out to Henderson, and Henderson bricked that one. Hansbrough with another rebound.
He's put some incredible numbers on.
14 boards for Hansbrough. Green, nice baseline cut. Hansbrough in the lane.
What an unselfish play by Green. Terrific job by Green. Gets the ball in the Tyler Hansbrough. He says, hello, Mr. Jordan. Hello, Mr. Jordan. Oh, North Carolina Duke. Call your friends up. Call your friends up. It's special, baby. It's special.
62-57 with 9:28 to go. Tyler Hansbrough has just eclipsed Michael Jordan as the 11th leading scorer of all time in North Carolina basketball history. Congratulations to Psycho T.
Little half-court trap. Should leave somebody open for that three. Look at that spacing. So difficult to get help.
Ginyard is on Paulus. Shire. Henderson had the shot, didn't take it. Now he drives. What a move by Henderson.
A terrific spin move in the lane. Showed his explosive athleticism. They rave about it.
Ginyard back the other way. He's fouled by Paulus. That'll be 3 on Paulus.
Take a look at the spin. He feels the defense, spins, nobody rotates over, and he beats Green to the goal. That's the spin. Pull it back, explode to the goal, the jam. Somebody's got to step in that lane, though, and give some help.
Gerald Sr.
Solid ball player for 13 years. Not spectacular as his son.
You play 13 years in the league. You're doing
pretty
all
good.
right.
Yeah, you're pretty good. Hey, most wins for a school since 2000. Duke #1, 252. Kansas second. Florida third. Gonzaga fourth.
Ginyard will go to the line. He's hit all 4 of his free throw attempts tonight.
Hey, Mike, congratulations to our buddy Gary Williams tonight. Won his 600th game.
Oh, that's great.
Starting to put up numbers to get him into the Hall of
He
Fame.
really has done a great coaching job with that team. I saw them very early in the season. I didn't think there was any way they were going to be as good as they are right now.
I couldn't agree more with you. He's getting a lot of play now out of Osby and out of Milburn. Team has improved. Arkansas has improved. That's another team. Kentucky. These teams were really struggling. Had some bad losses early, but have really improved.
Ginyard 6 for 6 from the free throw line and 11 points. That is a bonus for the Heels.
Yeah, he's done a nice job. He was out of control one time. Second time, he had good body control.
The lead is 5.
They need a defensive stop to get this crowd going.
Shire, nice move by Shire. They are so good because they all handle the ball so well.
Well, they all can really attack the basket. And if you rotate over and give help, they're really aware where their teammates are to kick the ball out.
The Heels would love to get Ellington untracked.
They got to get him going. They cannot win this game unless Ellington starts making some baskets.
Boy, you're right. They're playing without Ty Lawson. If Ellington is not going to score because he's 5th in the conference, then they are not going to win.
He shot down with some rhythm to it. He didn't think.
Paulus, nice drive by Paulus. Kicks it into the corner. He thought somebody was going to be there, but Henderson was not.
That's like a quarterback throwing a pass to a guy running a route, and the guy's not there.
This Saturday on ESPN, Big East action for you at noon Eastern. Number 16, Marquette against number 21, Notre Dame. Then at 9, Georgetown, ranked 6th, will go against Louisville, part of Rivalry Week, presented by Cisco on ESPN.
Well, Louisville went up to Marquette and beat Marquette at Marquette. That was their first loss at home. Marquette so tough on their floor up in Milwaukee. Nice pass.
Quentin Thomas, great pass to Green, and then what a block by Lance Thomas.
Lance Thomas has played a solid game here.
Boy, that was a nice feed by Quentin Thomas, too. Point guards love to be rewarded for passes like that. Smith gives it up to DeMarcus Nelson.
Trying to set that screen up high. As that kick out.
Henderson playing with 4 fouls. Drains that jumper. Boy, are they playing well tonight, Dick.
Henderson's going to be a special player. Sophomore year, getting better and better. Was a little up and down last year as a freshman.
Now, Hansbrough handling the ball outside, and that is a silly foul by Smith.
Yeah, he got tripped right there.
Going to be 3 on Smith, and it's 68-61, Duke over Carolina.
Mid-stop. Beautiful people. I've developed so many great friendships over the years, and I'm telling you, I'm so thrilled to be here because I didn't think I'd ever be behind the microphone again on December 5th.
You're just lucky that I wasn't down there with you, because I'd have asked you about 50 questions a day. I would have tortured you at home.
You probably would have. I'll tell you one thing, though. You called a number of times, and I appreciate it.
Well, we love you, man.
I got so many calls from so many of the coaches. Bob Knight was calling on a regular basis, and he will be back coaching. Somebody will get smart enough and hire him.
68-62. Nelson into the lane. Did not get the roll on that, but an offensive rebound by Nelson, knocked out of bounds off of DeMarcus Nelson.
Right now they need a big play, North Carolina, and they're going to find an open look. Danny Green can make a play or get it into Hansbrough.
Quentin Thomas running.
There it is.
There's Hansbrough blocked from behind. What great help defense.
Lance Thomas has played one heck of a game today for Duke. Double figure scoring, giving them some good defense inside.
Dick, a couple of more baskets, and Duke will try to take the air out of this. There's one of them as Singler drains a 3. It's 71-62. The lead is 9. Singler has 13 points.
Mike, the three-point shot, we've said it so often, has changed the total complexion of the game. When teams can make the free, they are absolutely difficult to beat. You look at the margin here tonight, threes with Duke versus North Carolina. It's so big. Look at the defense rotating over. Comes over. Tyler doesn't see him come from the help side. And there's the 3 by Singler directly up on top. Great rotation.
Singler, the second leading scorer for Duke tonight, 13 points. Paulus has 15. The story on the other side is Green. He has missed 7 shots from the floor. Danny Green is a much better shooter than that.
Yes, he is. Well, so is Ellington. Green and Ellington have not given him the point production, and they needed it, especially with Lawson out of the game.
Green had been slumping coming into this game on threes. He'd hit only 5 of his last 23. Ellington tonight is only 3 of 10. And a lot of that, I think, has to do with the lack of your point guard being in there.
Exactly. That's a great point. Very difficult to win without rhythm in a point guard.
Big shot.
He stepped up tonight. That's 14 points for him. That's 14. That's big.
That's twice his average. And he gets it back to 6.
Remember Jackie Manuel? But he's got more offense than Jackie.
Sure. Thomas trying to dog Paulus and keep the ball out of his hands. Paulus goes into the corner and makes a huge 3. What a clutch shot.
I'll tell you, clutch. He was challenged on that 3 as well. Nice pass.
Thomas to Hansbrough. Boy, that looked like a good block, and it's going to be on Lance Thomas, his 4th.
Thomas rotated over. This really hurts Duke because they don't have a lot of size inside. There's a 4th one on Thomas. Now watch this. Look at that 3. I mean, he's being challenged. I mean, he drains it. He was a great quarterback in high school. Some people thought he should have played. His dad says, that's my ball. Look at his brother clapping for him as well.
Paulus with a career-high 6 3-pointers, all 18 of his points coming on those shots. Now, Thomas is going to have to come out with 4. Both he and DeMarcus Nelson with 4 fouls for Duke.
I'll tell you one thing, it's a deeper Duke team than last year.
Yeah.
And also a team that really generates offense off defense, shoots the 3 well, and they're a healthier team.
Hansbrough misses the 2nd. That's uncharacteristic for him, particularly late in games where he's deadly.
Well, now we're down to winning time. You're right. manage the clock, get some rotation.
Here comes the spread.
Yeah, here comes the spread to court. Get some rotation, take some clock.
Got Hansbrough out guarding Nelson. That's a tough matchup. Nelson down the lane, kicks it out. Paulus, too strong. Offensive rebound and a follow by Henderson.
Henderson off with the offensive rebound.
Henderson now with 10.
He's had a good second half.
Ginyard baseline, draws a foul. Foul was on Singler. That's 3 on Singler.
Tell you, can't emphasize enough. Take a guy out of the lineup like Lawson. That's such a major, major loss.
All Lawson can do is watch. They said if he wasn't going to be 90%, that they weren't going to take the chance and play him. And he really couldn't go side to side, which would have limited his defense terribly against the quick guards of Duke.
Tell you, they got some quality minutes out of Ginyard. He has really stepped up for him.
He's hit 8 out of 8 from the free throw line as well and has 16 points overall. He has been a savior for them offensively.
Well, if they want a savior, they really got to do a better job defensively. They got to really, right now, lock up defensively and get some stops.
Duke is so good at spreading the floor.
Look at this matchup.
They're just going to take whoever Hansbrough is on and bring him outside. And here's a foul on Thompson.
Not only take him outside, but beat him off the dribble.
Yeah, and that's 5 on Thompson. And you have no choice. You got to send somebody out on him or they'll just dribble 30 seconds away.
That's why it was so surprising that they lost to Pittsburgh. They're so usually very effective when they have the lead and they spread the court. Pittsburgh, Jamie Dixon did a great job, and he suffered 2 major losses, Levance Fields and Michael Cook, and he's still doing a great job with that program.
But Dick, Duke is a much better basketball team now than when they lost to Pitt.
Oh, absolutely. Tell you one thing, had they not lost that game, they're undefeated, and they're probably #1 in the country.
Yeah.
Even though I think Memphis, I'm going to put a heat on John Calipari, even though he left me a beautiful message last night. Mr. Calipari is going to go 34-0 and be the first team undefeated since UNLV when they entered the tournament. UNLV in '91, Jerry Tarkanian's kids were undefeated.
Pretty good basketball team, isn't it?
That was the team that got beat by Duke in the semifinals.
An amazing game.
Yes, sir. Leitner, Hurley, and Hill.
76-68, 4:18 to go in the game. Ellington trying to get on track. They desperately need his offense.
Shire doing a good job. Shire playing him tough.
Boy, and Singler's been good on the boards in the second half. He's stepped up big time. Shire against Ellington. All they want to do is burn time and try to score at the end.
They're trying to end the 3-game losing streak against North Carolina. They've lost the last 3 times they've played, and not many teams have a 3-game winning streak against the Dukies.
Mike Krzyzewski has honed this team very, very well, using its strengths to perfection. Shire offensive rebound, tied up by Thomas and foul. So that was a heck of a hustle play.
He's also utilizing some concepts that he got from the Phoenix Suns and the head coach, Mr. D'Antoni.
I'm on business. Man, I came here for one thing, to do what I
can. HD presented by Olivia. What a ball game. Duke on top of Carolina, 76-68. North Carolina's last field goal 2.5 minutes ago. And they're down by 8. Greg Paulus has just been shooting lights out in his last 4. Tonight, what, 5 out of 6?
6 for 8. No, 6 out of 8.
6 for 8.
6 for 8.
That's right. That's a career high for threes.
They got a 13-2 edge from the three-point line against Carolina. That's 11 threes. That's 33 points.
Shire hits the first. He'll have another.
He's a terrific free throw shooter. You put him on the line late in the game, he's going to be difficult.
Averaging 10.5 points a game. Mike Krzyzewski said at the start of the year he wanted him to shoot more than he was. Finally starting to do it, and he's making an awful lot of it. 78-68. Quentin Thomas at the point. The Heels need buckets now. Hansbrough.
Pretty good play right there. But I'll tell you this, the one thing that's so difficult to defend Duke, they have so many weapons. You don't know if you concentrate on Paulus, DeMarcus Nelson hurts you. Concentrate on Nelson, somebody like Shire hurts you, or Singler.
They've got 4 guys in double figures, another with 9. They are tremendously balanced. This offense is ideal for their personnel.
And then you throw in Henderson's driving ability.
Hansbrough, bodies fly as Singler goes down.
That was a big-time rebound.
Hansbrough wants
they need
the ball
this.
low.
They need this.
Oh, that was halfway down.
They needed that, baby. It was in the hole.
Boy, Ellington just can't buy one. That one had everything going for it and rattled out.
He's just got to shoot it. Hasbro says, get me the rock inside. Get me the rock. I will carry you to the winner's circle if you get me the ball.
Ellington has missed all 5 of his 3-point shots. He was making 40% coming in. But Duke is one of the best teams in the country at guarding the three.
Yeah, they really do a great
Vic.
job. They extend their defense on the perimeter. Ellington has not shot well lately. He shot really well early in the season. Had that great game against Clemson. They needed every basket to win that game. They got 37.
2:43 left to go. The lead is 8 in Chapel Hill. The 3-point shooting has been a huge advantage for Duke tonight, as you might expect. And the Blue Devils with a 78-70 lead. Ellington has missed all 5 from long range.
I mean, that was it.
Oh.
The kid put that right there. That baby was right down. Tell you this, tough to beat a club when they're shooting like Duke is. As you look at our star watchers right now, Henderson had a good, strong second half. Team makes 13 threes, Mike. Tough to beat them. Oh, back play right there.
Pass. The pick by Green.
Get it inside. They had Hansbrough wide open.
Ellington, if you're a shooter, you just keep shooting. Singler and Hansbrough battling down low. 3 guys come in to block it. And that'll send Hansbrough back to the line.
He knows how to protect the ball, seal off really well inside. Johnny Dawkins sitting right there to the right of Coach K. Now watch this now. 3 guys are going to attack him. You're going to see 3. There's Singler, and there's come 2 from the other side. Look at this here. 3 guys are going to get all over him.
Shire ends up with the personal. Hansbrough struggled at the line. He's only 3 out of 8. Now, this is a guy who shoots 82%, which is brilliant for anybody, but particularly a big man.
And you convert these. You got points with the clock stopped, and you can also get into some pressure defensively.
78-71. Here's a double team. This is tough to press Duke. They're so good.
They got too many good ball handlers.
Yeah.
It's going to get down to free throw shooting. Duke makes free throws, they win the game going away.
And Duke is only an average free throw shooting team.
They're going to double up. Good spacing. Use your space.
Nelson held by Ellington. That'll be 3 on the sophomore from Wynwood, Pennsylvania. Tomorrow night on ESPN, our Thursday night showcase starts at 7 Eastern, West Virginia against number 25 Pitt. Then at 9 o'clock, number 13 Indiana against Illinois, part of Rivalry Week, presented by Cisco on ESPN.
Illinois has been a disappointment this year, but you look at Indiana, DJ White has been exceptional on the inside.
Dick Duke has hit only 5 out of 11 from the line tonight. Nelson knocks that down. He's 3 out of 4. And you're right, it's going to be free throws down the stretch here.
You know, we mentioned right there that game with Illinois, Indiana. You think of the Big Ten. Nobody talks about Wisconsin. All Bo Ryan keeps doing is winning. But when they lost to Duke earlier this year, he told me, he says, you know what? He said, I thought they had 6 guys on the court. They're making threes all over the place.
Well, they have 6 players in double figures tonight. Ellington. It's just not going to happen for him tonight. And the steal by Paulus. Under 2 minutes to go, the lead is 9. And Paulus, how smart is that? Pressure in the backcourt. He calls a timeout. And while we have a second, we're going to check in with Carl Ravitch. Carl?
You know, you were a great shooter, Hubert. You were one of the better shooters I've ever covered. What about a kid like Ellington, who he knows a good shooter, but is struggling? What do you think's going through his mind?
Well, for me, is he doesn't have any free throw shooting attempts. One of the things you want to do is take the ball to the basket, get to the free throw line, and that kind of gets your shot going. He hasn't been driving. I like that he's continuing to shoot the basketball, but you have to mix up your game and make an impact maybe on the defensive end to take your mind off of shooting. He hasn't been able to do that tonight.
You know, Hubert, he seems to be thinking rather than just shooting the ball with some good rhythm.
You can't do that as a shooter. You have to continue to shoot freely out there, but you can see he's struggling with his shot, and you were right. Over the last part, about 2 or 3 weeks, he's been really struggling from his three-point shot. He's the difference maker for North Carolina on the perimeter.
Yeah, we just saw the Duke freshman up there. Statistically, King hasn't scored, hasn't played much as a great shooter, but they got great performance out of Singler, and certainly Nolan Smith's made some big baskets early. They average like 28 points a game and 10 rebounds a game, the freshman for Duke.
Shire has hit 5 out of 6. The lead has grown to 11. Carolina has to score, and then they have to get stops. And it's just so difficult to press Duke because everybody they have on that court can handle the basketball. You know, they can dribble and they can pass.
You know, Dean Smith over the years had so many miracle finishes that he was able to pull off.
For sure.
And I miss it. I want to wish him the best. And I'll tell you this, D'Antoni, when you think about the Phoenix Suns, he does a great job using Steve Nash and penetrating. Mike Krzyzewski tried to learn from. There's a look at the Duke spread right now. We're going to take a look at what it looks like. See this right here? They put people in the corners. They get penetration. They get good ball movement. They really try to move the ball, get good spacing, and have done that here tonight, and it's led to shooting the three. Take a look at this right here, Stacy, and they get the great look and the great three, Stacy, which I know you can make.
Well, I've made a couple in my lifetime, but, you know, I talked to some of the players about this. DeMarcus Nelson told me that they absolutely love their offensive game this year. They love the fact they can spread the floor, take you off the bounce, and they love the versatility within their offense, guys. And they were the worst scoring team in the ACC last year, and they're second this year. They're third in the country. So it's pretty impressive to see what Mike Krzyzewski's done.
He really has, using that Phoenix Suns. I can't understand the trade. Why would they want to get a big post player? They just got Shaquille O'Neal, gave up Sean Marion because Steve Nash is such a penetrator and likes to get in that lane, and that lane's going to get clogged. Plus, you know, Shaq has got to dedicate himself and make a commitment that he really wants to play and win now.
Henderson hits his first free throw. He had been 0 for 2 at the line. The thing about the way they have been able to spread the court is anytime you try to double team somebody who's driving, it leaves somebody open, and they invariably find them.
And they all can shoot from the perimeter. That is their strength.
Ellington back the other way, drives the baseline, draws a foul. The last thing Duke wants is to have that clock stopped.
Should have done that earlier. That's what Hubert Davis was talking about. When you're struggling shooting the basketball, put it to the floor, try to go to the line. As you look at the bench, really going to feel really bad right now. Certainly you think about Lawson, who would give anything to be able to play in this game.
Ellington has not shot free throws tonight. He's 88% from the line and finally gets one to go through the hoop for him. Henderson picked up his 4th foul. Nelson also has 4. Lance Thomas has 4.
Ellington, very good player, has really worked on his game in terms of doing more than just shooting the perimeter shot. But tonight, he really, I think, has been thinking too much. Oh, that's a walk. That's a walk. Absolutely.
Nelson turns it over. It is 83-75. Carolina still alive.
Nothing like a big three here would give you a little lift. What a career this guy's put together. Roy Williams, a magnificent career. Kansas, North Carolina. He's going to be inducted into the North Carolina Hall of Fame on May 15th.
Thomas to Hansbrough.
Got to shoot it right away.
Goes for the rebound. Loose. Paulus has it. Stolen by the heels.
I tell you, Duke sloppy right now. Sloppy play by Duke. Really not doing a great job late in the game.
North Carolina with 2 timeouts left Green hits an enormous three to cut the lead to 5, but they're still going to have to foul. Your earlier point that it's free throws, it still is.
You got to make free throws. I'll tell you one thing. Green and Ellington have not put points on the board, and that has really hurt them big without loss. Look at these kids. I mean, look at the way they strap. Look at the way they claw. I mean, baby, this game is not over. As Green knocking it down.
I tell you what, I think these two teams, they come in ranked 2nd and 3rd in the country. I think that's legitimate.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt about it. They're certainly top 5. Got to factor in teams like UCLA and Kansas as well. Certainly
it is
Memphis.
The 6th time in the history of this unbelievable rivalry that they have played each other when they were both in the top 3 in the country.
The only chance of Memphis getting beat would be a game we'll cover against a talented Tennessee team.
Yeah.
Because Lofton is really shooting the ball really well now. Had a big game. Brad Nessler and Jimmy Dykes had it yesterday against Florida, the Gators.
Foul was on Hansborough. I mean, just think about that. 6 times that they have been in the top 3. There are conferences that have never had 2 teams in the top 3, let alone had them meet when they were there. And these guys are doing it for the 6th time.
And you and I have been there for most of it.
Yes, we have. Shire back to the line. This is the guy Mike Krzyzewski wants there. He's hit 5 out of 6.
He's got that great rotation. He broke the heart of Bruce Weber up in Illinois. Played for Bruce's brother. Mr. Basketball in the state.
Went to the same school that Chris Collinsworth went to. Or
Chris Collins.
Chris Collins.
You're thinking football.
Yes, I am.
You got the Giants on your mind.
Green for 3, no. Singler knocked it outside, picked up by Henderson. 39.8 seconds to go. Hansborough commits his 3rd foul.
You know, I know you're a big football guy. Were you shocked with the Giants beating the Patriots?
Yes, I was.
I wasn't. I picked them. I picked the Giants. I did. Ask Mike and Mike. I was on their show. I talked about it. Look at these 2 guys here. There they are.
From last year.
Henderson
Hansborough still had an arm stuck in there.
Henderson called them up. They ended up, as Stacy said, playing pickup games.
Henderson with a miss. It is still 7 points.
That drives coaches bananas. I don't know how Coach K hasn't lost some here. I lost all mine early.
Henderson, 2 out of 6 from the line.
He's been strong, though, in the second half. He's had a real good, strong second half.
Duke, it is not likely that they will foul. And Ben Paulus reaches out and commits one. Jeez.
Silly foul out there.
One of the few mistakes Paulus has made tonight. That's 4 on Greg. And the biggest thing, it stops the clock. I mean, I know you want him to take time off the clock, but don't you also would just rather see him score and get the ball back?
Stops the clock, puts them on a free throw line. They get points. They get into their rotation. Defensively, they're traps.
Thomas, normally a very good free throw shooter. But he's playing more minutes tonight than he's played except for the Florida State game, where he had to come in place of Ty Lawson, who was hurt early in that contest.
He had 9 points in that game. Only turned it over twice. Played like 36 minutes in that game.
Had a much better second half than he did in the first. And Duke calls a timeout to avoid the 5-second call with 28.7 seconds to go. And right now, Dick, Duke with an enormous advantage with the lead in the basketball with time running out.
Take a look right here. Dick Grote, Lenny Rosenbloom. Dick Grote was honored in the Hall of Fame. Look at these 2 guys rebounding. Heyman was a terrific player from out of Long Island. 2 fair coaches. I mean, are you serious? I mean, these are 2 big timers. Look at this.
Longest winning streak in the series. Sean May, one of the great players in Carolina history.
Had that great final game in the NCAA championship. Topped his daddy. Daddy was a great player for Bob Knight, one of Bob's favorites on that unbeaten team, the only team, well, the last team to go unblemished. Memphis trying to achieve that. I think Memphis, as I said, the only possible L could be Tennessee.
These teams have
That's at home.
7 national championships between them and 30
Final
fours. Are you kidding?
Look at the ACC tournament titles. Few All-Americans, few special players.
It's been a magnificent run for Mike Krzyzewski in the last few years. He has dominated the ACC at Duke the way even Dean Smith did not dominate.
I met a junior here today from out of Austin, Texas, by the name of Henson, about 6'8". And I looked at him and I said, son, I've never seen you play. I don't know if you can play. But you know what? You can play. If North Carolina, you're verbally committed to North Carolina, and they wanted you as a junior, you can play. And I said, how did Rick Barnes let you get out of Austin, Texas? His high school coach was there. I said, I'll tell you one thing, you're not getting courtside seats over at Texas anymore. Rick Barnes has done a terrific job after losing Durant. This year, DJ Augustine's a guy that's having a phenomenal year.
Last foul was on Quentin Thomas. Will send Nelson back to the line. Well, we told you at the beginning of the broadcast, in any language, it all means the same thing. This is a great rivalry.
You know, Mike, I wish. I've been doing the game 29 years. I coached high school, college, or pros for a number of years totally. And I wish there was some way at the end of the game, I can't think of it, some way to speed it up, some way to take away the boring foul, going to the line, fouling on every play. Just takes away the rhythm of the game.
It does, but I don't know what the answer is. And Duke with the steal, and that ought to do it.
It's all over, baby. It's over. They're going to have a nice, joyous trip down in Durham. And remember this, we talked about it early. Duke gets a little bit of an edge right now, possibly to be the team out of the ACC that goes to Raleigh, North Carolina, and then to Charlotte.
How interesting will it be to see the second game in this series at the end of the regular season? You have to assume that Lawson will certainly be back for that. He is such a key for this ball club. As well as Duke played tonight, I think the question will remain, what would have happened if Ty Lawson was able to go for Carolina? I mean, the kid is an All-American caliber point guard, and you just can't discount that.
Can't win in college basketball without great point guard play. We'll be there for that game. All the guys, Reese, Digger, Jay, everybody will be down there. That'll be a special night. It's our last regular season game.
And then the ACC tournament. You think they might have a chance to meet again?
They could meet again there.
Now, here's a little piece of trivia. As many times as they have played in this series, they have never played in the NCAA tournament. Isn't that amazing?
That's amazing, yeah.
And there were times when I thought that would be their destination. We've done a lot of these, especially in the ACC tournament, and it looked like they were maybe the 2 best teams in the nation, but it never happened.
You know, Duke right now, in winning this game, because I think this game is over, in winning this game, they have won 7 of the last 10 here at the Dean Dome. That's impressive.
Yeah, it sure is. Singler knocks that one down. It is 89-78.
I think this game came down to very simply. Not enough offense out of Ellington and not enough out of Green. Too much reliance on Hansbrough inside and no Ty Lawson. And they couldn't contain the three-point shooters.
Mike Krzyzewski and Roy Williams shake hands. 2 great coaches with incredible respect for each other and the programs that they have. The final score, Duke